Alright, so picture this, you're walking into the office, it's early, and you've got your coffee in hand. What kind of phrases do people actually use in English for this part of the day? Honestly, it's super repetitive, but also super useful. You might say, I start work at 9 am, which is pretty standard. But more casually, people might say, I usually get in around 8:45, that's when they arrive. And before doing anything, a lot of folks say, I grab a coffee, which just means they get one, usually from the break room or maybe a nearby cough. Then comes the usual ritual, I check my emails first thing. And yeah, first thing means, well, right when you start working. And don't forget the social part, I say hi to my team when I get in. Simple phrases, but they help you sound really natural at work. Now, if you're working in any kind of office, emails are like constant, right? It's just one of those things we all deal with. And there are some go-to English phrases that come up all the time. So people say, I check my inbox every morning. That one's super typical. Inbox just means your main email page, where all the new stuff lands. Then there's, I reply to urgent emails first. Prioritizing, that's important. If something's marked high priority, that's the one you handle first. Next, I sort messages into folders. Some people are super organized like that. And if something hasn't been answered, you can say, I follow up on unanswered messages. That's just a way of saying, hey, just checking in. Did you see this? Oh, and I write clear and polite replies. That's a big one, especially if English isn't your first language. People really appreciate messages that are short, respectful, and easy to read. Okay, so let's talk about greetings because yeah, we greet our coworkers every day. And in English, we usually keep it light, polite, and super easy. Good morning, classic. You can't go wrong with that one. But if it's a little more casual, you'll hear, how's it going? Or maybe, how are you? But how's it going is really common, friendly, informal, but still professional enough. Sometimes people say, nice to see you, especially if it's someone you don't work with every day. And after the weekend, this one pops up a lot. How was your weekend? Just small talk, but it's a nice way to connect. And when you're leaving or someone else is of a good day is always a good send-off. It's simple, kind, and you'll hear it everywhere. Meetings, yeah, not always fun, but definitely part of office life. And if you're speaking English, there are certain phrases you're gonna hear all the time and you can totally start using them too. At the beginning, someone might say, let's get started. That just kicks things off. If you're helping out, maybe you'll say, let me take notes, meaning you'll write down what's being discussed. And when you want to speak up, I'd like to add something is a polite way to join in. Agreeing with someone? That's a good point. It's short, but it really shows you're engaged. And this one's great when something's off topic, but important. Can we circle back to that? It means, let's come back to this later. Super professional, but still friendly. Alright, let's move into what you're actually doing during the day, your tasks, your projects, that kind of stuff. These are phrases that come up constantly. I'm working on a report. That could be anything, marketing, finance, but it just means you're in the middle of it. Then there's the dreaded deadline. The deadline is next Friday. And yeah, everyone's chasing one. I'm collaborating with the design team. That's a great one if you're working across departments. And collaboration just means working together. Once you've got something done, you can say, I finished the presentation slides, or I just submitted the final draft. That's for when you send something like via email or upload it to a system. Nice and clear. You know how it is, everyone's calendar is packed. So being able to talk about your availability in English is huge. I'm available after lunch. That one's super casual but clear. Can we schedule a quick call? You'll hear this all the time in email and Slack messages. It's kind of the go-to phrase for informal meetings. Then, of course, I have a meeting at 3 p.m. Or, if you're tied up, I'm busy right now. Can we talk later? It's polite and people usually understand. Finally, let's set up a time tomorrow. That's how you keep the conversation moving. It's a nice way to reschedule without saying no. Here is a summary table for types of verbs. Alright, let's clean up some of the most common little mistakes because even small changes can make you sound way more natural. One we hear a lot is, I do a call. But in English we say, I make a call or I have a call. Weird, right? But that's how it is. Next, I am agree. Yeah, that's incorrect. The right way, just I agree. No, I'm needed. Then there's the whole on time versus in time thing. On time means punctual. In time means early enough to do something. Like, I got to the meeting on time, or I finished the report in time for the deadline. And finally, please, thank you, excuse me. How? Don't forget those. They go a long way in the workplace. Alright, let's put all these phrases into a real conversation so you can actually hear how they sound in context. So, coworker says, morning, did you finish the slides? Super casual, super normal. You'll hear morning instead of good morning just because it's quicker. Coworker B responds, yeah, I sent them last night. That's direct and natural. You're giving a simple update, no fluff. Then A says, awesome. Are you joining the 10 meeting again? Nothing too formal here. Are you joining just means, are you attending? And B replies, yep, I've got it on my calendar. Super common. We don't usually say, I will attend the meeting. We just say, it's on my calendar. You'll sound way more natural with this kind of phrasing. Let's be real, problems pop up all the time at work. And having the right English phrases ready makes it easier to stay calm and professional. Let's think through this. That one's great for brainstorming. It shows you're taking the problem seriously. Then, what are our options? That opens up the discussion. It invites other people to contribute. I'll look into it. This one's gold. You're not promising to fix it right away, you're just saying you'll investigate. Super useful in emails, too. I'm not sure, but I can find out. That's honest, and it shows initiative. Bosses love that. And finally, let's try a different approach. That's the gentle way to say, hey, maybe what we're doing isn't working. Let's mix it up. Okay, let's do a little practice, not a test, don't worry, but just stuff to help you think in English. First, what do you usually do when you arrive at the office? You might say something like, I grab a coffee and check my emails. Keep it simple. Next, how do you respond to an urgent email? Maybe something like, I reply right away and mark it as high priority. Then, what phrase would you use to start a meeting? Easy, let's get started, or even, thanks for joining. How do you say you're working with another team? You'd say, I'm collaborating with the team, or I'm working with marketing on this project. And last one, how do you reschedule a call politely? Try something like, can we move our call to tomorrow? Or would it be okay to reschedule for later today? Keep it kind and professional. You know what's tricky sometimes? Following up. Because you don't want to sound pushy, right? But you still need a response. Just following up on this is such a lifesaver. It's polite, it's gentle, but it reminds the person, hey, I'm still waiting. Got an update? Or more formally, do you have an update? That one's really common in work emails. If it's a work in progress, you could say, any progress so far. It's casual, but still shows interest. And this one's great when you're offering help. Let me know if you need anything. It shows support, but also lets them know you're available. Finally, please keep me posted. That just means, let me know if there's any news. It's super office friendly. Feedback at work is a big deal, but it doesn't have to be awkward. These phrases help you keep it professional and kind. Great job on the report. That one's easy. A little praise goes a long way. I think this could be improved. That's a gentle way to say something's not quite right. And it opens the door to a conversation. Could we change the format slightly? That one's perfect when you don't want to sound too critical. It's more like a suggestion. I really liked your presentation. Again, if someone nailed it, say it. And when something needs more attention, let's look at this part again. That keeps it collaborative, not blaming, just solving together. We ask for stuff at work all the time, right? But the key is doing it politely, especially in English, where tone really matters. Could you send me the file? That's totally fun, simple and direct. Would you mind reviewing this? That's a little softer, and it shows respect. Please let me know your thoughts. That one's great for after you've shared something like a report or a plan. And we schedule this for later. This is a lifesaver when your calendar's already packed. And one of my favorites, do you have a minute to go over this? It's super polite, and it shows you value the other person's time. Alright, time for some next level stuff. Phrasal verbs. These really help you sound fluent and more like a native speaker. Follow up. We covered this earlier, but it's so important. I'll follow up next week means I'll check back or remind someone. Call off at means cancel. So, the meeting was called off is just a fancier way of saying it's cancelled. Go over means review. Let's go over the report like, let's read it together or check the details. Point out is when you notice something. She pointed out a mistake means she spotted an error. And carry on means keep going. Let's carry on with the project, just continue what you were doing. Alright, the workday's winding down finally, right? And there are a few phrases people use to wrap things up. I sent out the final email, you're done with communication for the day. I tidied up my desk, even just straightening things up helps you feel like you're leaving on a clean note. I clocked out at 5 p.m. If you use a time tracking system or badge in and out, this is what you'd say. I reviewed tomorrow's schedule, just a smart way to stay on top of things. And don't forget to say goodbye, have a good evening, or sometimes just see you tomorrow, easy, polite and friendly. And that's it, we've covered a whole day in the life of English at the office. Honestly, if you start using just a few of these phrases every day, you'll sound more natural and confident in no time. So yeah, practice out loud. Talk to yourself if you have to. Or shadow native speakers you know, repeat what they say like you're in the scene. Write emails using these phrases. Pay attention to how others speak in meetings. Try stuff. Make mistakes, it's all part of learning. If this helped, I'd love it if you gave the video a like, maybe even subscribed so we can keep learning together. Got questions? Drop them in the comments, I always check. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.